Hi, welcome to this live stream in intuitive channeling. It's been a few days. My intro into February was a little bit rocky and very controlled by the universe. I was kind of forced in many ways to slow down, introspect, be more observant than I usually am, slip into a new way of relating to my life that brings everything to a more like a more closer, intimate point of experience. I feel like I'm much closer to everything, to myself and to other people. And that closeness has, funnily enough, created a sense of detachment where I feel I'm able to tell better the difference between what is mine and what is of the other, which I'm really grateful for. It's been a huge relief processing this new version of myself that feels a lot stronger and more present and more decisive. But it obviously didn't come without what I had spoken about in my last reading and what I mention often about how a lot of this work comes with its shadows and its weight first, and then through that, the transmutation of that, we become better, stronger, like I said, more observant. We experience more intimacy with our lives. I am also feeling, and I guess this is the contrast of the way God works, because there's also an Aquarius stellium in the sky right now. I'm feeling and understanding more about Aquarian energy and how a lot of you, if there's any Aquarius in their personal planet, personal Aquarius placement, watching my content, please let me know if I'm wrong. I would love to hear from your kind of people. Aquariuses tend to, so a repeated lesson that I've been learning, especially since having an Aquarius stellium child and learning more about that energy, you tend to, your detached nature comes from your innate not detachment. Like, it feels like you guys come into this world being attached and knowing very much about intimacy, connection, freedom, openness. It's like you guys are very, very open. You come into the world so open, and one of your first experiences of trauma is with that of closeness and connection and learning what I mentioned in the opening of this video, learning how to tell the difference between your energy and other people's energy. Hard lesson. Shout out to Aquariuses. I understand why your detached nature is so detached, because this is very scary ground to navigate, while you also, like, doing all of this is very difficult to uphold against your own truth, against wanting to make sure that everyone's okay, against wanting to make sure that you're okay and you're connected to yourself, hoping that other people are connected to themselves too, The perverse side of this archetype that I'm exploring, what I'm understanding as Aquarian nature, is because of how Aquariuses are naturally so experimental. I'll find better words to describe this in the future, but the best I can say right now is because of how I've seen Aquarians to be very experimental. They seem to assume that other people are as experimental as them. So they do a lot of things with like a kind of like a disregard of the self, where they don't really attach too much to their identity in the way that they learned about the separation between themselves and the other. They learned about their ego and how that can change as much as your relationship with someone can change too. So I find that Aquarius people tend to be very good at and have a lot of fun with changing their identity, poking at different holes in their identity. And as a result, they do it to other people too. And a lot of Aquarians I've seen have this very innocent nature to them that can express itself as evil and malicious, but it isn't. They're just playing around. A common story I see amongst you guys is how, amongst Aquarians, we rather reference them like this, not like this. They tend to, they all have a history they all have an experience in their past where they manipulated someone, not maliciously, just kind of like to see if they'll do it. And they end up doing it, and that was them learning about reality. And a lot of Aquarians have that. They internalize that experience and have that experience and lesson at a fairly early age, around adolescence, teenagehood. Again, something that I'm open to critique about. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but this has been my experience with Aquarians. And I find that very interesting. And I think it's also interesting that that theme comes up, the Aquarius stellium, tropical Aquarius stellium in the sky right now. And with how much of a theme it is in each of our individual lives, that we can really play with our reality and how surprisingly easy it is. And I think what makes it very easy is that detachment and your ability to make a decision, poke, see what happens, fuck around, find out, and let go and move on to the next thing that you want to find out about. And have fun with moving between those states. Again, something I feel like I'm like repeating over and over again, but just feels like something that's a big theme right now. And it's an extension of what I said in the last reading, where if you're not having fun with your reality and pushing the boundaries, doing things differently right now, you're missing out on a very, very, very prime opportunity to get to know yourself, to get to know God through others, to get to know the cause and effect cycle, to get to know the power of your cause, what the root of it could be, because also the act of doing allows you to find out more about your truth. And I think all of our truths are really, really trying to speak to us right now. It is also obviously the month of love. There is something about the loveness of this month that I think is going to be very surprising for some. I'm still feeling into that switch where there'll be people who expected to experience the season in singlehood, and then they suddenly come into union, and people who are in union are leaning more towards the relief of singlehood and individuality and tapping into themselves. There may be a lot of people in connection who feel called to, instead of doing the usual union thing for Valentine's Day, they feel like they more want to deviate to an individual way of experiencing. So self-care. Two people in a relationship decide to dedicate their love day to the love of their own selves. Or one person in the relationship feeling like maybe that's what needs to happen, but it's not to say that our connection isn't something valuable, loving. I just think that this is me speaking as a person in connection, them saying that they just think that it would be healthy for this time around. It will be healthy this time around for them to practice their individualities and value themselves as people themselves. There may be people who have strayed. Well, I think because of also the theme of sovereignty of this year, there may be people who've strayed far from themselves in their dedication to the relationship they have, not just with other people, but with maybe, I don't know, their career path or something that they find security in. They may find that they found too much security in that, blended their identity with that, and just kind of let go of who they are. Now they want to find more about who they are. It's love, but true love. That's what this month is giving, the month of true love. And a video that I was watching just now, like 30 minutes ago, mentioned, I will link the video, it speaks of divine love and the love of God, and how that love is not mush. It's not just about the mushy feelings and the softness. It's about the all-encompassingness of being and of existence. And that would naturally include the darkness, the shadows, the periods of squeeze and discomfort through which we are pressed into in order to become new shapes and grow and shed, If the mystics and people who relate to how sensitive, not just to how sensitive these past few years have been, I think that there could be something very beautiful about our choice to dive into the love of our journey and to find deeper reverence in what we've chosen to do via our mystic paths, our paths of seeking divine alignment in all avenues of our life, the decision to follow your intuition. I think that us tending and pouring more love into that area will yield a good feedback loop of growing love. The love present in life and the love of God is very, very, very infinite. And I think as human beings, it's obviously easy to forget because our minds are so small. And it's easy to not believe because our minds are so small. But it's true that just when you think you've hit a peak in terms of what you can experience, the love that you feel, the love that you might believe God has for you, know that there is always at least like 3 times more. You think love God's you this much, God will show you, but you have to get there first. And this is the wonderful thing about the universe that I mentioned in previous videos is scientific. You reach a point, you intend on a point in life, whatever this point is, this can be generalized. God will give you 3 times more than that point. God will give you that point and extra. You have a problem, you want the solution, you will be given be given the ideal solution and even more solutions. You know what I mean? That's how life is inherently, naturally, the expansiveness. It's very natural for the universe, for you, for your living experience to be expansive and to push bounds and to be more. It has always just been waiting for you to believe it. And like I said in the last video, invite it in. I do get the sense that the universe is no longer waiting for an invitation, though, for some of us. I think that for a lot of us, what I'm getting is individual people on their mystic journey tiptoeing around God and not feeling amazed by God, but still feeling afraid to go all in. And I'm getting each of our lives, our universes, our souls with their personalities are getting very tired of our tiptoeing. I'm getting this sensation of, you said you want it, then here it is. a sense of impatience, frustration, which is what I've been experiencing still on a personal level. This up and down, the emotional up and downs have been absolutely crazy. And the draw to make decisions and to actually do them has been crazy. The results of the decisions that I've made have been crazy. And I feel like I'm in the middle of something very, 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 very life-changing. Very life-changing. that is really going to change the thing that I've been feeling that is coming for a lot of us, especially in terms of the divine unions. It's happening. It's really happening. And it's happening in a way that is, I knew that it would happen in a way that we couldn't tell, that we wouldn't see coming, but I didn't know that it could happen it could happen to such an extent where I thought that the way that these unions or whatever would come in would be from outside of us only. I thought because of the element of surprise, it would come very outside of you. I neglected to make way for the space of divinity inside each of us that drives us to make decisions and do things beyond what we make sense of or beyond anything we're used to doing. So I again say, be open to doing anything, out of the box type shit. I did something that no version of me, no past version of me would, even thinking about the fact that I did that makes my heart rush, because I can't believe that I did that, and I'm really still not the kind of person to do that, but I did it. I went forth and expressed something, and it has caused something to happen that I can tell is going to change the rest of my life. And it came from within me, and it came as a very random impulse. It came as a big thing that was like, no, I have to do this. I just have to. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, and I feel so scared about it. I've never done this before. Oh my God, I have to do it. I have to. That's how it felt. That's how this feels for a lot of us. And I think anyone ignoring that impulse is, like, can you feel that? I don't know. Were you able to feel what I was saying and how excited I was, how much energy was in how I was describing that process? Why would you want to suppress that kind of excitement, you know? Yes, it's a big risk. Yes, it's very scary relative to leaving a job, changing career paths, moving, leaving a relationship, wanting to start a new one. The newness that's in the air right now is very scary, but is it not exciting? It feels like the humdrum of life will really continue on, and we have to start being more proactive about how we can go against that humdrum and make life exciting for us. I've said this, make it exciting. Take it with both of your hands. Do something exciting. Say yes. Flirt with that person. Send in that CV. Even if you don't think you suit the requirements, just do it. Do it. But also, Shia LaBeouf. But anyway, yeah. Let me shuffle and see. I have missed this a lot. I felt lost. Okay, interesting. Temperance and the Six of Swords. We still have some, before the excitement fully settles in, we still have some things to leave behind. I see. Let's see the third card. It fell out very fast. I love that. Yeah, I feel like I need to temper my excitement with the presence of these cards, because it may be that I'm reading for watchers who are I'm still feeling something hanging on to you. It might be a sadness or a feeling of hopelessness. Maybe, like I'd mentioned as an extension of what I was describing in the beginning of this video, a sense of detachment, but that detachment may be bad for some. There may be this feeling of like a kind of numbness in a way. I'm feeling into a very like a lulling feeling. Okay, a lulling. You see how these people are a little bit slumped, you know? I'm getting the sense of somebody knowing they're making a decision to do something, knowing that they have to, but it sucks that they have to do it. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, having a decision to leave something. Someone making a scary decision to do something. Someone making a scary decision to pivot. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, the excitement was before me. It is very exciting in general, but being in it is very exhausting. A lot of people are also moving house right now. Moving is exhausting. It's also exhausting. So, okay, if you don't feel into the excitement, then let it build. Let it build up. It's still a journey, and at least you know. This is something I noticed in the last reading when I was looking at this. The path to that path to the light at the back is so beautiful, hopeful, undeniable in my opinion in terms of the treasures that it brings to you, in terms of where you're sailing to and where you're going. All is well. You are fine. We have strength at the bottom of the deck as well. Yeah. This is still a really difficult and exhausting time. It seems like collectively we are all dealing with a kind of move, a shift, a pivot. We're all looking at a path ahead of us that I'm getting a start from scratch vibe, a path ahead of us that will in some way require us to be an amateur or a student again. Even if this is like the beginning of a new relationship, there's an exhaustion to that. Like, oh, now we have to learn each other's favorite colors and we have to do all of that again, start again. Hopefully you know that the universe your story is accommodating you to move at your own pace. There's no rush to the start of this. This is not a rush start. It's a very slow one. God bless. I'm also getting a resting point that I'm getting the suggestion that you use this period of your life as a resting point, that we should be just chilling in these waters, just sit in it for a bit. Try not to rush. Still taming. Try not to rush. Try to move. Try not to, with the presence of this Knight of Wands beneath the Strength card, I'm getting somebody who might think that they want to do something. So they go ahead. No. They might think that they have to do something. So they go ahead cautiously thinking, okay, if I continue to keep still, then I don't know. I don't know. Some kind of fear of this. This is giving somebody who's moving because they're scared of keeping still. They're moving. They're not sure yet whether or not they should do it, but they're doing it because they think that that's what they're supposed to be doing. And these cards, with the opening of this energy, it's giving that moving is the last thing you need to do right now. And if you do insist on moving, fine. Move slowly. Try to move as slowly as possible. Shuffle for a third card. Okay. The Strength card insisted on its presence at this time, fell out in reverse. And then we have the Seven of Rods upright and the Five of Cups, in reverse. So frequencies, different frequency suggestions, messagings here. If there is a phase, so I'm getting, for a lot of us, we are seeing the exit of something that we didn't think we had to let go of so soon. And it's like slowly trickling away. And the pace at which it's moving, it's as if the fact that it's slowly fading away sorry, this is difficult. It's slowly fading away gives us as the observer the impression that this is now our time to fight for it more. No, now it's a slow burn so that you can say goodbye to it properly. It's not a slow burn so that you can hold on to it and salvage it. I'm getting the frequency of someone who has long considered that they want to separate from someone. They want to end a relationship, but they keep trying to convince themselves that something about this relationship is worth fighting for. They're like reluctant to let go and just call it, you know. This also may be a breakup that was discussed, and two people are talking about the separation, but because of their deep love for each other, they don't see, they're trying, you know, they're fighting for it, and they think that this fight in itself is an expression of love. It is not. It is not. It's a resistance to what you both know needs to happen, you know. I'm also getting somebody who insists on holding on to hopelessness, and who insists on, they insist on holding on to this way of viewing life that says life is exhausting and you have to keep fighting, and somebody who's attached to suffering in how it gains you wisdom. There are other ways to gain wisdom, not just through suffering. And that in itself is a form of wisdom, being able to understand that even though you have suffered, that is not what life is about. Someone who insists on not letting go of suffering, it's a Scorpio, if you're Scorpio placement, we have to let go of the victimhood of that. We have the Hierophant, the Five of Pentacles, and then death. Yeah. Getting somebody who like this whole thing of no one is coming to save you. Someone really doesn't want to let go of that. Someone insists on continuously believing that no one's coming to save you, and that's the best way to think about things. No, it's not, babe. No, it is not. It absolutely isn't. And in fact, the presence of these cards says exactly that. Someone is actually trying to save you. Someone wants to save you, but you insist on resisting. This also is reminding me of that story of the boat and God, and someone drowned. No. Someone fell off or keeled over their boat, and they needed help, and they prayed to God. And then someone sailed over to save them. And the person who was in the water who needed help goes, no, thank you. I prayed for God to help me. So that's God helping you. So also then with that story, look around. Please look around. Open your eyes to the options of healing you have around you. Please stop projecting even the tiniest offers of kindness. Please try to be more receptive to receiving all forms of kindness, even if you think that it's in bad taste. Even if you think that someone is being kind to you maliciously, try to just look at it from kindness. Assume good intent. Assume good intent. Please try to stop being so defensive. That is what that is giving. I'm also receiving somebody who is genuinely trying to keep up the fight. We are all trying to keep up the fight right now. Beneath the death, we have the Nine of Wands. Literally, please try not to be so defensive during this time. That defensiveness closes you off to opportunities and connection. It feels like there are so many like hidden angels waiting in the wing lines around you, in the form of maybe somebody parked next to your car or somebody behind you in the line. But because you're so standoffish and you think that everybody's out to get you, there's no way that God can send in people to help you, to make your day, to uplift you, to make you feel safe. There's no way God can send in any kind of divine union or anything if you're going to walk with your back all toughed out, thinking someone's going to stab it at any moment. I'm also receiving somebody who thinks that being defensive is a form of protection, or being defensive or being self-critical, yes, is a form of protection, or is a form of self-refinement, or it's a good thing. I'm getting somebody who's doing something that's very bad for their spirit, as in it's heavy, and they think that taking on that mindset is good, but it's not. Please stop being mean to yourself. Please stop talking down on yourself and thinking that that's a way that you can uplift yourself and get yourself to focus. If you're finding yourself slumped out, tired, exhausted, sad, please don't turn around and then go, don't turn around and go, no, get up. Life doesn't slow down for your tears. Life is going to keep moving. Da 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 da. Do you see how mean you are being to yourself? When you feel yourself in lost mode, or when you feel yourself sad or like, oh, please try to comfort yourself. These two cards is giving a lack of that. Like somebody has a lack of compassion for the self, a lack of like a lack of acknowledging the pain that you've been through. You think you're defensive like this for nothing? You didn't just pop into the world and become defensive. There's definitely a part of you that used to be so filled with love, but then life happened and now you're tired and you're weighed down and whatever. Give yourself grace, you know? And once you give yourself grace, you'll be able to very naturally extend that grace to other people. I'm also getting the need to pray. Attend church, go to some kind of communion where you can come together in a surrender to the higher power or to systems that help you. It can help with abandonment as well. These two is also giving the need for, if that's something you've been considering, attending an AA meeting or an NA meeting. If you've been dealing with substance abuse, this is also generally the time for that. With these kind of emotions lurking and with the kind of wounds we've been processing collectively, people have been leaning into escapism. But I have also been seeing people leaning into being sober. This also gives that, as the sense of addiction is, in my opinion, and in what I've experienced with other addicts. With me, I identify as an addict. I know that our addictive habits, they are sourced from this sense of belonging and feeling safe within. And these two cards together give attending to that safety within. But I'm really getting the image of somebody attending an AA or an A meeting that's held at a church. May be helpful. They are very helpful. They are very, very, very helpful. AA and NA groups are incredible. The 12-step program is incredible. Now that I've mentioned it, I feel that everybody should practice the 12 steps, regardless of whether or not you're an addict. And I do think living in this kind of society, it breeds addictive behaviors and thought processes. And the 12-step program is very helpful in making you accountable. Hi, Arlen. Sorry, I've seen your messages. These are not individual readings. I'm doing collective ones. And I'm grateful for that comment and for your presence. I'm glad you've caught this reading then, if you feel it's for you. I'm also receiving now just the exhaustion of the journey, and that's something that's been happening on and on. Something that us sensitives are really trying to sit with right now is the balance between life is difficult and life is a learning experience, and trying not to be bogged down by how hard it can be, to stay dedicated to healing, letting go, learning about loss, and being willing to start over. Yeah. I'm getting somebody who's dealing with the lesson of that, of the willingness, needing to learn how to be willing to start over. Scorpio, Plutonians, 8th house placements. We're not very good at this. We're not very good at letting go. I'm not good at letting go at all. So this can be, it's a bit pensive, a bit of a sad. I'm receiving a little bit of a sadness. And just did that really have to turn out that way? You know, I wish it turned out differently. I'm even feeling still a fight, you know, still like oh no, but are you sure? Please, I want to try fighting for this. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Very sad. I relate to that so much when you really, like a child, like Yeah, you're a child and you're watching your parent go to work. They have to go to work. But in your little child heart, it's like, no, you mustn't. Don't leave me. And the parent has to go to work. Or rather, with regards to this, we have to move on to the next phase. You have to move on from whatever that was. You have to move on from the pain. You have to take responsibility for feeling safe in your heart. You have to do the work of taking responsibility. It unfortunately is no one else's responsibility but your own. I'm receiving a lot of people learning that no one's responsible for your feelings of sadness or grief or whatever. Yes, people can be there for you, and it's brilliant to heal in community, but it is mostly your responsibility. It has to be, because nobody is experiencing you but you. This is where religion and spirituality, prayer, all of that becomes helpful, because when you pray and you are of God in the mind, remembering God helps you remember these things, and specifically remember that you're always in the perfect place at the perfect time. Yeah, I feel called to read now from the Intuitive Tarot. Shuffle for a card from there, read the interpretation, and then close the reading. We're still under process on a soul level. There is lots of newness, budding and moving, growing so slowly, but it has to grow slowly. Please try not to rush things during this time. This feels very, very, very important. Do not rush anything. Take your time. Take your time. Oh, okay. Okay. Sweet. We have the One of Rods in reverse. I'll read the interpretation of that. And then again, da-da. Every single reading. Yo, happy Feb, guys. Happy February, hey. Happy Feb. Happy month of love with too. It's gonna be fun. This is the month where a lot of new relationships are going to come in. I feel that very strongly. As in surprise, like what? Too many half-realized projects. The inability to deal with chaos. Potential and talent wasted in small schemes or inappropriate work. Ambition, the underlying motivation behind which is suspect. This sentence, potential and talent wasted in small schemes or inappropriate work, feels most important to me, as it has to do with that sense of needing to leave something that you don't want to leave, but you have to because you're wasting your time. Those two people that I referenced as an example earlier on this reading, who insist on being together, even though, you can feel that off here, it's not working out. Neither of you are feeling so much for each other. It's like, but with the presence of the Ten of Cups, that reference seems very far off. This more seems like somebody who is afraid to invest in a new journey, new commitment, new relationship with someone, because they're still holding on to what they expected before this newness came along. I'm seeing somebody who had hopes in someone else or some other plan. Now this new plan is coming along and they're going, but that plan was so me, and everything about that situation was so me. If I choose this, it means I have to become a whole other different kind of person. Am I sure? Is this really this new journey? Is it? Yes. Well, at least what I can say is whatever this thing that you thought you had that was like descriptive for you, that was perfect for you, whatever that thing was, it's a waste of time now. Consider that. Yeah. Look at every area of your life right now and ask yourself, is this worth my time? The answer should come quickly, yes or no. Because our intuition is, it's being refined. And I think through this refining, it's on point. Be patient. Trust in your surrounds. Trust in what's unfolding. Really, really trust it. I feel so excited for so many of us, even for myself. During this time right now, there's just so much happening that's blowing my mind, and It feels very, very scary, the newness of it all, and dealing with moving on from this and accepting that things will not be the same. They will not be like how they were. I had a lot of hope in a situation. I had years of hope in a situation that came to a point end of last year, early this year, where I finally understood it's really not going to be that way. And I tend to do that. It tends to take me years to let go of something or someone. But yeah, I've had to let go and accept that that's done. And it's like it's still So a lot of awe right now. But with that is a lot of really new, exciting shit about to come. This month is gonna and it's gonna end in a really fun way, and I think we can look forward to it. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know how I'm going to find my feet again, honestly. A few days off has definitely changed my experience with it. But I hope that I did this reading justice. I hope I'm still uplifting and helpful. Thank you for the comments. Thank you to everybody who watches these things and always ends up understanding and being patient with the fact that these aren't the live readings these aren't live readings, individual live readings. I just like doing the live streaming experience, and I love interacting with people in real time on the energies. And I just tend to read better when I live stream versus when I record. I don't know what that's about. Well, I could describe it. But anyway, the point is I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everybody who watches, grateful for everyone who interacts.